Welcome, readers. Today on Book Chat, we are diving into the reader topic of judging a book by its cover. Stay tuned. Today's episode is brought to you by The Boyfriend Project, written by Farah Rashan. It's the Mocha Girls Read National Book Club's July Book of the Month. Visit their website and join in today. Smaya Brooks thought she would never be that girl, but a live tweet of a horrific date just revealed the painful truth. She's been catfished by a 3-timing jerk of a boyfriend. Suddenly, Smaya, along with 2 other girlfriends, London and Taylor, have gone viral online. Now the 3 new besties are making a pact to spend the next 6 months investing in themselves. No men, no dating, and no worrying about their relationship status. For once, Smaya is putting herself first, and that includes finally developing an app she's always dreamed of creating, which is the exact moment she meets the deliciously sexy, honey-eyed Daniel Collins at work. What are the chances? When it comes to love, there is no such thing as coincidence. But is Daniel really boyfriend material, or is he maybe just a little too good to be true? The Boyfriend Project is available now in paperback, ebook, and audiobook from your favorite bookseller. Learn more by visiting mochagirlsread.com. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Tamara Ford, and welcome to Book Chat here on the Shelf Addiction Podcast. Participate in this discussion by joining the Facebook group Shelf Addiction Official. I hope to hear your thoughts on today's topic. You can also find me and Casey on Twitter and Instagram. The links for everything I've mentioned are below in the show notes. If you enjoyed today's episode, please support this podcast by sharing it with some book nerd friends or on your favorite social media space. That would really help me out, and I appreciate you for doing so. The uncut video version of this podcast is available now on Patreon. Join us there for exclusive videos, including after shows and more. So if that piques your interest, head on over to Patreon and sign up today. Okay, everybody, we've got a lot to cover today, so we're going to jump right on in. Joining me is feature co-host Casey from Heart Full of Ink. Welcome back, Casey.
Hello. I'm happy to be here.
Yay. We have a really fun topic today. We are going to do a deep dive into judging books by their covers, popular cover trends, and more. So you'll want to stick around for all of that fun stuff. Also, you'll want to excuse my voice. I have seasonal allergies, so I may just start hacking at any moment, but I will try not to. I'll try my best, or you'll be hearing me go.
Allergies.
And definitely, you guys, you want to hang around to the end of the discussion because we have some fun Readers React comments on this topic. We want your feedback, and we want other fellow readers' feedback on this topic, and we got some. So if you'd like to participate in our next Readers React, be sure to join the Facebook group, Shelf Addiction Official, or follow both of us on social media, and so that way you won't miss the next call of action. So those links are in the show notes. All right, so let's get going. I mean, where should we start?
Covers. Book covers everywhere. Book covers. I don't actually have a thing.
Okay, so let me just say, I made this statement earlier, and I feel like it's legit. If anybody tells me they don't judge a book by a cover, I'm like, lies. You are lying. Lies.
Absolute lies. Yeah. Everybody judges by a book by its cover. It's the first thing you see. It's right there. It's supposed to tell you the genre, the heat level, what the story is about, you know?
Yeah, and sometimes
everything.
It does a good job, and sometimes it does a bad job, regardless of if it's ugly or cute.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's talk about that a little bit, because I have definitely been tricked by some covers, as well as synopsises, but since we're talking about covers, we'll focus on that.
Covers, yes.
Yeah, like you'll see something on the cover and you're like, after you read the book, how does that even tie in at all?
Are you one of those people who gets annoyed if the cover models look different from the people in the book?
Yes.
Like if the heroine has blonde hair and on the cover she has brown hair? Yes, that annoys the fuck out of me too.
Same.
Use my F-bomb.
Especially the heroes too. Like, dude, that's nothing like what that guy's supposed to look like.
Nothing.
And that happens a lot.
Oh, all the time. And I know nothing about graphic design. Like, I have no knowledge of any of that. But I feel like changing the hair color would be one of the easier things to do. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Again,
I mean, people Photoshop everything. So if it's like cartoony, then they definitely can just click a button and change the hair color.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the worst thing, and sorry, I'm just jumping around all over the point, but the worst thing is when somebody puts tattoos on the cover model post photo shoot, so like photoshopping it on there, and then his nipples just disappear.
Yeah.
You're looking at the cover like, oh, that's a nice tattoo, but where's your nipple? Your nipple is gone, sir.
You just have blended in with the tattoo.
It's just gone.
Oh. Yeah. Are they trying to hide nipples on the covers? Is that
I don't know. I honestly don't know, because, you know, male nipples can be exposed anywhere, any shape, any form, whatever.
Yeah.
But no, he'll have a tattoo right there and suddenly the nipple's gone. I'm just like, my dude, I know you have a nipple because it's in the book.
Do you have any like recent experiences or like, I guess covers that you've seen that did not match like recently? Because like, I feel like the Cat and Bones that we just covered.
Those are very, well, Bones sometimes went blonde and white hair, and
I just feel like it didn't look right. Yeah, it didn't look right though. I don't know.
Cat
At least Bones.
Definitely Cat, but Bones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bones, not so much.
Not off the top of my head, which I should have done more research before we sat down to talk. But no, I've definitely over the years read things where the heroine has blonde hair or brown hair, and it's vice versa on the cover.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so minute, but it's annoying. You know, like that's just one detail that you should be able to get right.
Or like, even like outside of what the people look like, because I'm not necessarily a fan of actual characters on the cover necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I don't need that all the time. And if I do get it, it better be gorgeous. And so I'm like, I don't need it. But some covers, like they have these elaborate scenes of like space or something. And then you get into the book and you're like, they were in space for like 5 minutes.
Yep. Yep.
Like, what are you doing? Like, the whole book isn't about that. You could have picked a different scene to show that was more, you know, in line with what the book was about.
They want to market to that one specific niche. I don't know what they're doing. I really don't.
So, like, when I think of like some of the, I'm just gonna say it, like those Polaris Rising books. So I just finished the trilogy or whatever, and I'm like, well, you know, they have that space, and yeah, they are in space, but that's not the focus of the book. The focus of the book is not space games or Odyssey or anything. It's just a relationship and house taking down. So I feel like the space stuff on the book with like the headgear and the guns and like, who the hell even shot a gun? I mean, outside of the first book.
Yeah, I was about to say in the first book they did, and I felt like with those covers they were trying to keep theme. I've read the first two. I haven't read the third one yet, so I don't know. But yeah, no, I mean, they're in space. They travel through space a lot, but the majority of the book is all about...
The third one, they barely traveled in space. Like, they did a little bit, but not like that. They just... you'll see. If you, it's just not the same.
Read it eventually.
Yeah, it's not... So, like, that type of thing, I don't really care for. But the covers are cute. They're cute. They're pretty. Cute. But they don't really jive, in my opinion, with the heroines, nor the main point of the story.
I thought the first one fit. The second one, I agree with you on that. Like, that cover did not fit that heroine at all.
No.
She was really, I don't want to say bookish, but she was more invested in the learning of stuff. How am I supposed to phrase this? What am I saying, Tamara? You read the book.
She's like more brainy, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. And even the third book, the heroine has a gun in her hand, and that lady never freaking held a gun, but maybe one time. She held a gun one time and to prove she could, shoot the gun, but it was more about her physical prowess, like her physical strength, her physical abilities, not about a gun. And they all kind of look like the same person with the long dark hair, and all those sisters don't look alike.
No, they don't.
So I don't.
So it's a good series, but the covers are
but the covers, they did the job, right? People see the covers and they're like, oh, that's pretty, let's see what it's about, because that is you see, like, just like how you eat with your eyes and your nose, then you taste the food. It's the same for books. You see something that looks attractive and then you pick it up and read it.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
So they did their job there. Good job with the covers, because you got what you wanted out of it, even though I can nitpick it.
I still think that the first book cover fit that book really well. Because it was in space. She did shoot her gun a lot. Like, it fit. The others, they could have changed, but visually without putting it with the book, they're cute. But
but they still could have kept those bright colors, because I think that's the trend. You're trying to bring those bright, vibrant colors in that pop on Instagram. You still could have done that and changed, because the story as it evolves, it's not the same space story. So,
yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But don't get twisted. They are beautiful covers. That's an example of covers that are pretty. Although we know there are some real fugly ones and embarrassing ones.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I won't read a book if it has that old school, like, Fabio and Bodice Ripper.
Every once in a while, I'll pick one of those up. And I know going in exactly what it is. I'm like, this is the 80s style, over the top, just absolutely ridiculous historical romance with Fabio on the cover. Girl. And I know, because it's Fabio, and I know exactly what I'm getting into.
But I'm okay with it on Kindle, though. But I'm not going to pick that book up and walk around with it.
In my bedroom by myself. Nobody knows what I'm reading.
Like, I read at work sometimes, back in the day when you actually went to an office. Man, I'm like, you can imagine. I'm sitting at my desk eating my lunch, reading this book with Fabio on the front. Here comes my director. Hi, excuse me. Oh, never mind. Put this book away.
That's why e-readers are helpful. I also read on my phone a lot. Yes, I do that when I'm out in public.
I mean, all those old school, like, I remember reading, like, Fern Michaels back in the day and all that. Like, those covers were heinous.
Yeah.
But they assumed old women who were reading them. But even though I was a young woman reading them, maybe they assume the old women want the sexy men on the front.
I mean, we still want sexy men on the covers. Like, to this day, we still want hot, ripped, sexy men on the covers. That's what sells.
Oh, I guess I don't. I guess I go against the grain. I don't want it. Actually, the most beautiful covers I've seen in recent history of adult books, let's keep it in adult realm, are honestly the Mercy Thompson books. They're gorgeous. They are gorgeous.
They are.
I recently looked at the designer's website, the artist. He's so talented. I'm like, though, he does so much work to get those the way they are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, those are amazing. And it looks like what I think Mercy would look like. And there's no man on the cover.
She is urban fantasy. The sex is always fade to black. And Adam is not, he's a main character, but he's not the focal point. Mercy is the focal point of the series.
Yeah.
So I'm talking like Janine Frost's Vlad spinoff series. Vlad is the focal point. So all of his book covers have him. And yes, he's a little ridiculous on those covers.
Yeah.
But half naked sexy man is selling.
I don't know. I just I don't like that. I don't like it. I don't like it. I mean, I understand. I'd rather see, like, I'm trying to pull up some of those covers now. I can't even visualize them because I read those, digitally, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't even visualize those covers right now. But if your
Covers?
shirt's open,
he has no shirt.
Okay.
He's naked from the waist up. He has no shirt.
Oh God, no. I just don't. No. I don't want everyone in the world knowing what I'm reading. Okay. And if it's garbage, then let me read my garbage in peace. I don't want, I know.
Yeah. No,
and plus, I mean, not to be funny, but I'm not putting those on my Instagram page. I'm not.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I mean, they don't really pop very well on Instagram.
No. And I mean, maybe I'm not the typical reader of those books, possibly, even though I enjoy them. Maybe I'm not the target audience, so they don't really care what I think.
Well, how do you feel about Ian's books? Same author, same genre, same publisher. Ian's mostly naked too.
I feel like that about all of them.
Oh, you feel about okay.
All of them. I just don't okay, so now I don't mind silhouettes in the background. I don't mind a man and a woman in a silhouette. I mean, maybe I'm just, no, I'm not just, okay, I'm not like a, nose in the air. I'm not like, oh my gosh, clutching my pearls. I'm not all of that. But I don't know. I really like a beautiful cover. I want to be able to, when people, and this has happened, and again, I'm talking about work, but this has happened. Mm-hmm. I've had a book sitting on my desk. Someone will come up and say, oh, that looks pretty. Oh, that looks interesting. What is that? What is that you're reading?
Mm-hmm.
And it's always with gorgeous. If it's not a pretty cover, I don't take it to work. So to me, those aren't pretty covers. Those are, hey, thirsty women.
Cheers to my thirsty women.
Oh my gosh. It's porn for your eyes, porn for your brain. Absolutely. I'm cool with being thirsty while I'm reading it, but come on, don't put it on the outside. I'm just saying.
I mean, where else are you going to see it?
In your mind. Else? In your mind. Use your imagination.
Yeah, you can see it in your mind, but I'm on the online dating scene. There is nothing that pretty out there. There is nothing that pretty out there.
See, so why even hold us, why give us some, something to look forward to that can't be real ever in life?
It's hope. It's beauty. It's yeah.
Well, I guess. So you tell us, guys, do you like the naked sexy man on the cover? Tell us.
I say yes. That's just me, but where?
I say pass. So tell us which side you stand on. I mean, I'm all for the sexy guy, but I don't need it on my cover art. So yeah, there's that. And then the women with their hair hanging over.
The hair. The hair flips.
But I noticed, you only see that with white couples, though.
Ooh.
If you show, okay, with the exception of maybe Beverly Jenkins, she has some kind of spicy covers, I feel like, a little bit. But the guys kind of have their shirt ripped, and then the women are kind of, but all of, at least the modern contemporary romance with, non-white characters, they look a little different. They may be cartoony, or they may be, you know what I'm saying?
There are a lot of cartoony interracial couples, but I do have to say Harlequin is being better. So the Harlequin silhouettes, and those are the very cheesy, I have to be in the right mood to read them. But they're starting to have more Black couples and interracial couples that are sexier and, I can't think of any titles right off the top of my head, but some of their covers are getting better in the last 6 months or so.
Yeah.
It's finally, now that it's 2020, these covers are actually attractive.
Mm-hmm. I think of those, what's the one book? What's the woman's name? I think the first book was Get a Life, Chloe Brown.
Get a Life, Talia Hibbert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those books, the Brown sisters, are definitely cartoon. But I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me at all. I almost would rather see this versus, especially in the first book where the guy is like pasty white with red hair.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him on the cover personally. But I think they're cute. I think seeing the couple in the little corner with the words taking over everything, it's cute. It's pretty. You know, when you see it, okay, you know it's a romance. You know that's what it is. But it's not like in your face, like, bam. I don't know. I like those.
I have mixed feelings about the cartoonish covers. Some of them are really cute. Like, yeah, Get a Life, Chloe Brown is super, super cute. But other times, like the Kids Quotient, it's a really cute cover. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden they're having like really hot, kinky sex. And I was like, I was not prepared for this. Like, I thought it'd be mild sex, like cute, but not that hot. And they're just like going at it doggy style all of a sudden. I'm like, oh, okay.
So you think that you draw the cartoon with it being milder?
Absolutely, yes. Mm-hmm. I do. I know everybody debates this, and we could spend like 2 hours debating and going into examples. But personally, yeah, if it's a cartoon cover, I think it's going to be mild.
Really? Mm-hmm. I never thought of it that way. I guess.
You go to the comparisons of all the cartoony YA books that have like absolutely zero sex to all these adult cartoony books that have like, whoo, really hot sex. And I'm like, you have no idea what you're picking up when you see this cover. Like, yes, it's a cute romance, but on the hot, sexy scale, I have no idea what it's going to be like.
See, I just think of it like adult versus young adult. So that would be my content line versus the cover. But I can see where you're coming from because it does look pretty innocent looking at it, right?
Yeah. No, it's super cute. And I love this book. And the covers are gorgeous. Like, I love it. I'm not trashing any of that. Mm-hmm. But even Talia Hibbert's book, the sex was kind of mild.
Yeah, it was.
At least I'm just like used to kinkier stuff. But anyway, like it was kind of mild. And I was like, yeah, like it fits with the cover. I know the Kids Quotient is the one that's coming to me specifically. There are others, and everybody debates this all the time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you'll have these cute covers with the cartoons on it. And then the sex is just so raunchy. And I was like, I was not prepared for this. And I don't mind this hot sex, but think about all the people who wanted to pick up like YA style sex, fade to black with nothing else in it.
Oh, oops.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just hard to tell. It is hard to tell now what you're going to get. Mm-hmm. I mean, especially because some erotica stuff, they don't have people on the covers anymore. Well, they do. But I feel like the more popular ones, they're doing objects on the covers. Like, I don't know, some
pearls. That's a long
range
I can get into.
Right. So it's like, now when I see covers that look like that, I just assume it's going to be erotica because they don't want to.
Yep.
So we do make some assumptions when we see the types of cover.
Absolutely. The cover's supposed to tell you the genre and the heat level. If there's a naked man on it, I'm going to expect hot sex. If there's a cartoon on it, I'm like, okay, well, it might be some mild sex, but cute story. Yeah.
Well, let's see. And I know this is a different genre than romance, and I feel like even though what I'm about to mention is a different genre than romance, I do feel like the rules that they're using for the covers should cross genres. Like, okay, if you're going to have a cartoon, right? Mm-hmm. Or, so for example, the other series, which had nothing in it, absolutely nothing, basically, which we talked about here on this podcast. You guys can go back and hear me bitch about this thing mostly. But, you know, those covers are cartoony. It has the heroine on the front of it and nothing else really, but they are cartoon. And so you expect it to be milder, and it is.
With Anne Bishop?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like there's a kiss and they share a bed, but you don't see what happens as they sleep innocently, and everybody just talks about how they slept innocently. And it was very innocent.
It's so hard, guys. Just be consistent. I just wish they would be consistent. In that case, we got what we were expecting. Well, I was expecting more, which was my own bad, because I should have saw, it's a cartoon cover and dialed it back.
I mean, I really wanted them to start doing something more than a kiss. Please, God.
Something, please.
Anything. Hand-holding became like a thing in this book. And they're like, oh my God, we're holding hands. Like, that would be a good, like, super cartoon, full cartoon. Because I know it has her actual face with the cartoonish style behind her.
Yeah.
Like, no. Hand-holding. Oh, God, that series.
Well, okay, so like even so this is another series we kind of did on the podcast, the Hidden Legacy. Didn't we do those on this podcast? Yeah.
By Ilona Andrews. Yep.
So I'm looking at the covers from like the first 3. Okay, so only the first 2 have what's his face without
Matt
a shirt.
Rogan.
Yeah, Matt Rogan's without the shirt in the first 2. The third book he has a shirt. And then, of course, when we kind of switch to like another story arc, like
with his sister,
her sister, that he has a suit on. He's fully clothed, and so is she.
Yeah, she has her fancy dresses on.
Yeah, she has her gowns on, and he's got a tux on. So I don't know. I mean, those are kind of spicy.
Yeah. I mean, Ilona Andrews does deliver in the sex scene department. Mm-hmm. That's another conversation we can have.
Oh, I know. But look, that's another thing where I guess we can debate if it's paranormal romance or urban fantasy, but just looking at Goodreads and Goodreads alone, people are marking this as urban fantasy more than 2 times as often as paranormal romance.
Well,
so that doesn't fit.
That's a whole nother debate, because urban fantasy and paranormal romance have a very thin line between them. Like Cat and Bones is technically urban fantasy because it's the same couple through 7 books.
Yeah.
But they're really, really spicy. Like chapter 32.
Yeah.
And all the other times they go buck wild. And he is not always shirtless. I don't think.
I'm going to pull up those books right
now. Well, Cat's on the cover more often than Bones is. And she's always fully clothed.
Mm-hmm.
So you would never really guess how spicy that is based on her outfits. Well, she's wearing leather, so maybe. Maybe.
With her leg up on one.
Yeah, okay. If you look at Cat, you'll probably assume that there's going to be some kinky shit going down.
Yeah. I don't know, but again, it's so inconsistent.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. So, I don't know. So, I guess the lesson out of all of this would be read the description. Because
even then, that doesn't always tell you how hot it's going to be.
No, it doesn't. Which they should start putting a heat level rating on the books. But then again, that's subjective as well. Some people say
subjective.
Yeah, some people say, even Closed Door, when they start off doing all the stuff, some people think that's
too much.
Yeah.
Oh God. No.
Oh my gosh. So I don't know. I do. Like, even honestly, like, I'm not even going to lie. Like, The Burn for Me, The White Hot, The Wildfire, those are also covers I would not have on my desk. They're just
But you love the books, right? You
but I love the books.
5 stars.
I did love the books. But the cover art doesn't do it for me. I don't know. Maybe I just am opposite of everyone else that reads these type of books.
Maybe. Like, I think they're fine. They're cute. I wouldn't have posters of them on my bedroom walls or anything, but I don't hate them. Also, like, I don't work in an office, so I don't know if I would actually like bring these books to an office. Mm-hmm. I work by myself, so it's just me, myself, and I looking at all these covers and judging myself.
Yeah.
So I don't know how I would actually do that in that sort of setting.
Because like even like if we switch to urban fantasy, and especially like young adult urban fantasy, they really don't have people on the covers anymore. Not a lot. They have these beautiful covers though, but they just took the people off the covers mostly.
There's still a few that are really, really pretty, but yeah, no, for the most part, it's all just intricate designs that are gorgeous.
And fantasy.
Young adult covers are killing it.
And even some adult fantasy too. Like they may have like, I don't know, swords or flowers or whatever. And now they're integrating things like textured covers and just things that are really beautiful.
Oh, yes.
So I'm not mad at that. I tend to gravitate toward those kind of covers.
Oh, I just want to like stare at them and say, you're so pretty. And yes, I want to buy you and read you. But also I want my naked man covers.
Oh my gosh. Oh Lord. Show me the naked man on the inside or something. I
don't know. Jumping back to when you mentioned the objects on the erotica novels, like I remember there was a trend probably back around 2010, 2012-ish, maybe a little later than that. Fruit. People started putting fruit on erotic novels. And it was the most horrifying thing I've ever seen. Like there's a black cover and then an apple.
Oh, that's like Twilight. That's Twilight's cover.
No, it was Twilight, but it was supposed to be like the kinky BDSM erotica stuff. And they're like, here's this cover with just a bunch of grapes. Ew. And here's this cover with an apple. And here's this cover with a peach. And I was like, just as long as you never do the eggplant emoji on a cover by itself, like, I will not pick that book up.
Oh, here's some, a cherry, a strawberry. They got like their lips like this. You see some pair of lips.
The ones I'm thinking of didn't even have lips. Like it was literally just the fruit on black. Like no people, nothing.
Oh, there's some. Maya Banks.
Banks.
Yeah. Oh, the fruit. Yeah, the fruit's kind of bad. I agree. The fruit's cheesy. Why are they trying to say it's like forbidden fruit?
Yes, but fruit is
my God.
Fruit on a cover when it's supposed to be sexy. Like if it was a cookbook, sure, yes, let's have food on the cover of a cookbook.
Yeah.
And a erotic romance, no.
Yeah, that looks kind of. It does look suspect. I mean, and then the Sylvia Day one, she doesn't have food, but she has like objects again. What the heck is this? Oh no, I can't do that. What the? Okay, so this one is Blackmailed in the Boudoir is the name of the book. And it has this girl. I can't stand it. I cannot stand it. It has this girl in like a bra and panty set with, of course, her panties are halfway up her butt crack. Ew. Long blonde hair. She's on top of this guy. His face is basically covered by her hair. And then there's another guy kind of behind her. Like, I'm like, oh God. Oh my God. Awful.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
It's awful. Oh my God. See, if you just Google, look, this is what I Googled, erotica books with fruit. And then all this bad stuff came up. I'm like, this is horrible. I can't do it. I almost would rather the black books with objects, not fruit, but objects, than this other crap.
Yeah, there's some crap. And I mean, even going back early 2000s in Alora's Caves, oh my God, their Their covers were the Sim characters having sex.
Oh,
it was awful.
That sounds bad.
Like you. It was worse than just naked man chests. Like it's full bodied. And they're Sims characters. Like they don't even look really human. And that was like early 2000s when nobody really knew how to make covers, and the start of the e-readers and the digital books and all of that fun stuff.
Mm.
Those covers.
Well, the covers overall have, I don't know, I wouldn't say they've all improved. They've definitely followed their own trends, that's for sure, if nothing else. Ugh, I gotta close that window. I'm bothered now. And not in
Google
a good way.
Laura Cave's covers. Google it and just look at it.
Okay,
yourself.
Let's see. You said Laura Cave?
Laura, ELLORA''S.
Okay, let's see what I find. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. And yes, anybody listening along, Google it yourself and tell us what you think using these covers.
Oh.
But keep in mind, they were made like almost 20 years ago.
Oh my God. That is so inappropriate. This just says porn on it. It just says porn.
Yeah.
I'm porn. Read me.
I read way too many back in the day.
Jeez, this girl got, oh my God. I can't. Yeah, I would not read that in public either. I mean, I'm sure some people enjoyed the books. Did you read the books?
I read some of them.
Were they good?
Some of them were good. Some of them are good. Some of them are bad. The covers were all ridiculous. All of them, no matter what. It was really hit or miss. Like you just had to try it and see if it would be decent or not.
Oh my gosh. Well, the stuff that comes up along with that, if you Google it, oh my God, it looks horrible. Like, I mean, in our mind, okay, when you visualize some of the scenes, obviously this is what you visualize. And in your mind, it's fine.
Yeah. In your mind, it's fine. On the cover of the book.
Right. Lord. But I will take exception to, I will, like, if the guy is like shirtless and he's really fine with like angel wings, for some reason, I think that's okay.
With angel wings?
Yeah, it's like black angel wings or white.
Is that like the dichotomy of good and sexy or good?
Something. I don't know. For some reason.
Sexy.
I don't know. For some reason, I feel like I can give it a pass. I'm going to pull these up and see if they look like what I think I remember them looking like. Yeah, so the Fallen Angels series by J.R. Ward. Those guys are shirtless, but like one of them, you see his back and you see like an outline of wings. So he has like a muscular back. And I mean, to me, these are kind of sexy, but not as, oh my God.
Well, to be fair, sometimes like if there's a muscular back instead of a front, that can be a lot hotter. Excuse me. That can be a lot hotter on the cover. So that's another twisted trope. A man's back instead of a man's chest. Even
the later books, like the first couple books, she had the like torso thing, and then she changed. Like they changed it, so they started having like a close up of their eyes, or half of their face. They kind of changed that.
Well, that's another question. Do you prefer the covers with a face or no face?
I think it depends. The face doesn't bother me so much.
Unless they're making a terrible expression and you just have to laugh at how ridiculous they are.
Or that.
Yeah.
Yeah, these don't look bad though. Like, but they have other things going on in the cover. So like you'll see like this much like from his nose up. Like from his nose to the top of his eyebrows, but then there's like an angel wing coming here. There's some chains in the bottom. So they've got like a lot of things going on.
Layers.
So, it's not just his face. Because that would look weird, I think. Wow. Yeah, I don't mind these covers. They don't bother me for some reason.
Oh, that's good.
I guess I'm not such a stick in the mud after all. Although I still probably wouldn't have this on my desk at work, though.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need everybody knowing your business and what you read.
True that. It's a private matter.
Absolutely. Between you, me, and everybody listening to this podcast.
Yes. But I mean, again, when I see these books, I'm like, and I've done this like back before COVID-19,
Mm-hmm.
when you go to the bookstore, like this was my process. I would peruse the bookstore in the fantasy and urban fantasy sections, and I would pick something up like, oh, that looks interesting. And then I would read the back. And then if I was impressed with the back, I might sit down somewhere with a pile of books and read like a couple of pages before I bought it. But I've also seen books where I'm like, what the hell is that? Skip. And I don't even bother to read the back.
Oh, yeah. No, there are some covers out there where I'm just like, what? What were you thinking that you thought this was the best version of your book cover?
Like fruit.
I'll give you an example. So a friend of mine told me I had to read The Burnt Toast B&B. And I don't remember the author's name. It's two authors. Heidi is one of them, I think. But anyway, The Burnt Toast B&B. She told me is one of her favorite books. It was absolutely adorable. I picked it up. The cover is not that cute.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, no. Like if I had seen this book on a bookshelf at a bookstore, I would have walked right past it and never picked it up. Like just, no. But because I trust her, I picked it up and I read it. And it is absolutely adorable. Like it is one of the cutest books I've read. But that cover is just, oh my God, no.
Oh my gosh.
No.
You know, there was another book that I had, a series that was like that for me with, I think it was Janet Ivanovich. Like Full Tilt, I think it was. Full Tilt.
Her covers are all weird too. Like they're very colorful and bright. And
yeah.
They focus on the titles rather than any sort of character stuff.
Yeah, like I'm trying to pull this up now so I can remember them properly. But if I had seen, yeah, it's like really bright pink with like a car, and it just looks so cheeseball. It looks cheesy. I would have never just picked this up off a GP, but someone told me they were good. So I would have passed, even though this doesn't have any of my red flags on it. It just looks cheesy with the bright neon pink.
Yep.
And, you know.
Yeah, no, there are some cheesy books out there that I would absolutely just walk right past because the covers are terrible.
Yeah.
But if a friend tells me they're good, then I'll read them. If a friend's like, no, it's bad.
What's her face's series? Hamilton, Laurel K. Hamilton.
Laurel K. Hamilton.
Oh God, don't get me going on those damn books. And those covers aren't really that bad, especially her newer ones. The newer covers look more urban fantasy, you know, like you won't see the whole body and there's not all this sexual innuendo going on the front of the cover. But the original couple of books in that series, yikes.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess it depends on what release you're looking at too, because you know they re-release these books. So she had one with just like weapons and things on the front. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the ones where
the purple cover with the stomach, right? I think it's a stomach.
Yeah, you can see a stomach, then you see her like face and neck, and then like her side, and then like she's going like all like this, and it's like, ugh, no thanks. Yeah, which I do wonder if that's like the second cover or the first cover. I do wonder.
I think the purple one is the first, but I don't know for certain.
So it's possible that they redid these covers when they started putting just the weapons on them. You know, because they refresh these covers every once in a while.
Yeah.
I guess to make them more acceptable in the current climate, I guess.
Try and sell more books.
Although when you see these weapons on the cover, they look pretty, okay, you know it's going to be kind of horror-ish, right? Because obviously when you have deadly weapons, torture devices on the cover, you expect something bad, but you don't expect the kind of crazy sex stuff that goes on in there. When you have that kind of cover, you expect a horror.
Not
not threesomes and stuff. I don't know. It's hard out here. So this cover life is hard. I'm telling you.
It's so hard. Because, yes, I absolutely do look at a cover and say, I want to read this book. And then all of a sudden I have like 5,000 books on my to-be-read shelf. And I'm like, well, what do I read next? What grabs my attention?
Well, because of that, I think now more than ever, I pay attention, especially when I'm in this, ebook and audiobook zone. I just really don't worry about it as much as when I'm going into a store or ordering a physical book to sit on my shelf.
Oh, I still care about covers with ebooks. Like I'll scroll through Amazon and see what covers grab my attention first. And then I may go look at the 1-star reviews because I find those to be more honest.
You do that too?
I do that too. That could be our next chat. 1-star reviews. How we feel about them. But yeah, no, look at the 1-star reviews. I may glance through the blurb. I'll open it up, like read the first couple of paragraphs or pages or whatever is in the sample to see like what style right. But I always go by cover first. Always.
All right. Casey, you told it. I do go by cover too, even on ebook. When I'm scrolling through the Amazon list, you're right. Yeah. Cover does still pull me.
Cover catches your attention first, period.
Yeah. And then, unless it's an author I know already, if it's an author I know, then I'll just go off of that.
Author I know and love, I buy it no matter what. Yeah. But when I'm looking for new stuff, it's the cover first. Because like you said at the beginning, everybody judges the book by its cover.
Yeah.
And if they say they don't, they're liars.
Liars! Okay.
Liars!
Now that we've called some people liars, this is probably a good time to take a quick break. When we return, we will finish this conversation and we will also then share some comments from you guys in the Readers React section. So stay with us. Today's episode is brought to you by the Shelf Addiction merch store. Check out all the bookish t-shirts, notebooks, mugs, and more. Don't miss out on these original designs, perfect for any book nerd. Support the podcast and visit shelfaddiction.com/merch and pick up your next favorite bookish item. All right, we're back calling people liars again. No, really though, I do think that cover art is really important. And I mean, most people get that. I mean, I think that's why big publishers have marketing departments.
Yeah.
They know it's important. And unfortunately, I mean, not to rip anybody, but sometimes indie authors don't understand that. Because I've seen a lot of fugly indie covers.
To be fair, they don't always have the money to pay the big bucks to the people who are that good. But if you're publishing a book, you have to invest in it. You have to, period. The more you invest in it, the more you'll have returns back.
It's like any business. You can't expect to start a business with no capital and not do anything, no advertising, no nothing, and expect it to be successful.
And your book cover is your first point of advertisement, period.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much you spend on Amazon ads, on Facebook ads, on Instagram ads. No, that's all irrelevant if your cover sucks. People will see your cover and they'll want to buy it.
I agree. I mean, I'm definitely more prone to give somebody I've never heard of before, this is their first book, more of a chance
Mm-hmm.
if it's appealing to me
Yep.
at first glance. If it looks like a 5-year-old drew it, I'm going to think a 5-year-old wrote it. I'm just saying.
If it looks like an Alora's Cave book cover, I'm just going to pass.
Yeah.
I spent years reading those books. I'm not going to do that to myself anymore.
Yeah. And I know that, you know, there are so many ways to get art nowadays. Freelance art. Hate to say it, but Fiverr art maybe. I mean, you'd be surprised some of the quality things that you can get on a budget. It's just finding the correct people to work with, right?
There's so many cover artists out there. There's so many.
Yeah.
If you're an author and you need a cover artist, come to me, and I will give you a list of amazing cover artists.
Mm-hmm. Like it's not something that you have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on. It's just not.
It will be an investment, but not break the bank investment. Like, no.
No, I feel like just how you should be investing in an editor, maybe more than one type of editor.
I always say 2 to 3 editors.
Yes. I mean, I'm putting that nicely. You got you need at least two. At least two.
And this is coming from an editor. You need 2 at the very least.
At the least. And, you know, maybe some
beta readers don't count. Beta readers are helpful, but they don't count as editors.
No, that is not an editor. An editor is trained and they know what they're doing. And they may have some English degrees.
They've been doing this for years. They know what they're talking about.
Yeah. So just how you invest on the inside, you have to invest on the outside.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So heed our advice, please.
Yes.
We're trying to help you.
Please.
You know. And plus, it's more fun for us, the reader. We get to see more books. Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to show off pretty book covers.
Mm-hmm.
People want to Instagram pretty book covers. People want to share pretty book covers on their shelves. Like, pretty book covers sell your books.
Yes. And don't listen, again, when people say, oh, I don't judge a book by its cover. That's a lie. That's a damn lie.
That's a damn lie.
So even if you're only ebook on Amazon, do get your cover situation together.
Mm-hmm.
Just how you would your synopsis. You know, you don't want any typos in the synopsis.
You want something enticing. You want something that's kind of fun and flirty, and will tell the readers exactly what they're getting into.
Yeah, so don't lie to us with a bad synopsis and a bad cover.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Please don't. We want to read your books. We want to.
Yeah, we do. We really do. So let's see. What else about covers?
I mean, I think we've come full circle.
Yeah.
There are many different points we could like branch off and go rant about, but
you know, one thing I always was curious about is how come, like, right when a book is released, there's always 2 covers, like right off the bat. Right off the bat, there's like a UK version and a US version. And they're very different most of the time.
I've heard, and I'm not sure how accurate this is, but this is what I've heard, is that the UK and Europe market or European market are very, very different from the American markets.
Mm-hmm.
So American women love the naked man chest, whereas Europeans want something a little more facial, I guess. Like they want the faces on the covers.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why there are 2 very different covers right off the bat. Like the American cover and then the European cover. They're different because different markets.
Huh. Well, I feel like, you know, I'm scrolling through, you know, a bunch of US versus UK covers. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to lie. I like a lot of the UK covers.
Oh, yeah. The UK covers are gorgeous. They are gorgeous. And someday when I'm, you know, rich and have my own library, I will have like, here's my American cover shelf. Mm-hmm. Here's my British cover shelf. And like, just look at all the pretty book covers.
Yeah.
That's a life goal of mine.
Oh, that's nice. I gotta see that. I gotta see that library when it's full.
When it's full. Oh,
yeah.
God. Yes.
I'll come check it out and peruse the shelves.
I'll Instagram the whole thing in 10 years if Instagram's still a thing.
I don't know. It depends on how much people hate Facebook at the end of all of this, I guess. Because Instagram is owned by Facebook, but that's another conversation.
Moving right along.
Yeah. So yeah, I always wondered about that, but it's good to know that if you definitely hate the US cover, I guess you could always try to get your hands on the UK version. Mm-hmm. That way it might be more tolerable for you.
They're really pretty.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know if you ever saw the Blackadder Brotherhood books, the UK editions. Ooh.
Yeah.
Like, I love the American ones. Like, those have the early, like, the first 4 books have a special place in my heart. But the UK covers are, those are pretty too.
Yeah, I've seen them. Like, they even have a different, everything is different. The print on them, everything is different on the UK covers.
Yep.
Oh, pretty. I do love UK covers. Yes. Okay, so I guess let's see what some readers think.
Okay.
Casey, how about you start?
All right. So my first comment I got from Rachel. And Rachel says, I shop almost entirely based on cover. If the cover doesn't draw me in at first glance, I'm not going to stop to read the title, blurb, or reviews. I need a cover to tell me the genre, trope, and heat level right away. If a cover isn't superb quality, I assume it's a self-pub author who likely skimped elsewhere as well. And I already have too many high-quality books on my TBR shelf to risk wasting time on something subpar.
Snap. Ouch.
Oh, snap. We're right there with you.
She said everything we said in a nutshell.
Yep.
She said if it's bad, I'm assuming it's self-pub. Oh my God. Oh God.
There are some terrible covers traditionally published. Like there just are.
Very true. Like some of the ones we just bitched about. So
Yes, those fruit covers, I'm 90% certain came from Berkeley.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I appreciate that comment because you covered everything nicely. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Rachel.
Okay, so my first comment came from Facebook, and Miriam says, there are definitely times when I will pass on a book because I think the cover is ugly. Or on the flip side, I'll be attracted to a book because I love the cover, which is, yeah.
Yeah. Everybody judges the book by its cover.
Yeah, and people are owning up to it.
High five, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, Miriam.
All right. My next comment came from Tina. And Tina says, covers are definitely eye-catching and will lure me to pick it up, but it's going to be the blurb more so in deciding whether I actually buy it. Yes. Yeah,
blurbs. That's true. But sometimes I don't trust blurbs. Sometimes I don't. That's why back in the day, I would read that on the back. And then if it made it past that round, I would actually read a couple pages. Because I have been tricked by the blurbs in the past. And so I got to go a little deeper than the blurb. But yeah, I get it.
That's me tricking you sometimes with blurbs. I love blurbs. I love writing them. I love that. But anyway.
Honestly, that's why I hate to, and I know this is a little off topic. We can talk about when we talk about reviews in an upcoming episode, but I will not really read the comments from famous authors or famous people because I don't feel like they actually read those books. I feel like they know the person or they had a discussion with their publisher and they said, hey, I need you to do this. And they do it. So I don't trust from like Oprah to giving me a blurb. You ain't read that book. Reese Witherspoon, girl, you ain't read that book. Why are you playing? Somebody told you it was good. And so you're telling us it's good. And I feel the same way about really, really famous authors. They're not reading those books.
That came out a lot with American Dirt, remember?
Uh-huh.
some famous people like came out and said statements like, no, I haven't actually read this book. My publisher said I had to promote it, and then I started reading it, and I want to retract this promotion. So yeah,
like, oh, I read the first 5 chapters and here's my amazing blurb on it. So don't trust those, guys. Don't trust them.
Don't.
Trust regular people reviews over that.
Yeah, trust us. We will be honest with you.
Yeah.
If we hate a book, we will tell you. If we love a book, we will tell you.
Exactly. Lord. Okay, so I have another comment from Jessica, and this one says, I actually judge them by what they're about. I only use the cover to see how Drew-worthy the mail will be. Okay, girl. Okay, Jessica.
Yes. Make it matches. Let's do it.
But she might be missing out on some good books because the cover is beautiful, but they don't have a naked man on it.
If you want a naked man, get your naked man. Avoid the fruit covers. Just avoid the fruit covers.
Oh God.
Okay.
But I mean, I get that. I'm down with it, Jessica. You go, girl. You get your sexy covers on.
My last comment is from Maureen. And Maureen says, definitely. Usually I'd love to see a pic of the couple if it's a romance. If it's a mystery, give me a gloomy scene. I have a hard time with books that just have plain cover with the title. Very uninteresting. Doesn't give me any hint as to what the book story is about before I pick it up. Yeah, no, the cover is supposed to tell you what the story's about. If it's going to be a dark, creepy thriller, you want to see dark, creepy thriller stuff, not half-naked man. Yeah. If you want a half-naked man, that's what you're going to get.
Yeah, definitely. But like we were just saying, with some of the fantasy stuff, you don't necessarily get on the cover because they're trying to have gorgeous covers, right?
Yes.
You know, you're not necessarily, if it's about a house on a haunted hill, you're not necessarily going to have a house on a haunted hill on the cover. You might have, I don't know, a key or something and some other things, you know what I'm saying? So, or like a fence, but you're not going to know.
But they do have ways of making that fence or that key look really creepy and making you think, oh shit, this is going to be a creepy book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's
so
true
that's too. It's not like the fruit. I keep coming back to the fruit, and I'm sorry, but the fruit is like just fruit on a black cover, and that's it. And it doesn't look sexy. It doesn't feel sexy. But if you have a creepy key or a creepy fence with some fog, and everything's just creepy.
Well, let's look at this. There's this one example.
Okay.
Remember we were reading the Leigh Bardugo books. And then they had that spinoff started when we were kind of done with it. I guess it was a spinoff about one of the guys from the Grisha universe. But his book was King of Scars.
Yes.
That book was all gold.
Mm-hmm.
It had a crest with like, what do you call them? Claw marks.
Claw marks, yeah.
And a lot of gold detail where unless you're already familiar, you won't know what those things are until after you started reading the book.
In this instance, I think like you have to read the first trilogy before you read this because it is a spinoff. And you need to know his backstory about how he got the claw marks. And in that instance, like if you know that background, he is the king, he has his claw marks, it fits. And it is a pretty cover in that sense.
Okay, let me give you a different one.
Okay.
Girls of Paper and Fire. This was very popular last year. And
I heard some bad reviews about it.
I haven't read it, but the
haven't read it either.
On the cover, you can see a woman in her eyeliner, her well done brows. It looks like her hair comes around her face. And it looks like kind of like it's wind-blown hair. It's a very pretty cover. Okay. Golds, purples, pinks. And then you just see a little bit of fire on the edges of the letters. That's all you see. That tells me absolutely jack shit about that book. Let's keep it real. It tells me nothing. I don't know where it is. I don't know if she's young or old outside of knowing it's YA. I feel like,
Yeah.
okay, the only thing that tells me there's a clue is it has to do with fire, because I actually physically see the little sparks of fire.
Mm-hmm.
And if I read that book and it's not much fire, I'm going to be mad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think nowadays, especially in some of these genres specifically, telling what the book is about by the cover is getting harder and harder to do.
They want to make it enticing and
Yeah.
interesting and stand outish.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Yeah.
If we've made you more confused, sorry. Take what you will from this conversation.
Book covers, man. Book covers.
Book covers. I mean, I love them and I hate them. So all I know is the prettier it is, it makes me want to snap a photo and throw it on Instagram.
The prettier it is, the more likely I am to pick it up.
Yeah, that too. And spend my money on it.
Give it a 5-star or 1-star. That depends on the inside. That depends on the author and the editors and everything in between.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we make a bad choice based on only the cover, then yeah, that's kind of on you. But we talked about just now how the cover is our first line, but we do additional things as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we do judge a book by its cover, but not only its cover.
But not only its cover, we judge it by everything.
Yeah.
Which we will go into way more detail when we talk about reviews.
Get excited for that one, because boy, do I have a lot to say on that.
Yes.
Especially as I used to write a ton of reviews back in the day before I started podcasting and stuff. I mean, I still write reviews, but not like that.
Yeah, not like that. I used to write really long, lengthy reviews. And now I'm just like, it's good, read it.
It sucks, avoid it.
Yes. Yes.
That's the most important stuff, guys.
It is. It is.
All right. Are we done, Casey?
I think we're done. I think we've talked book covers to death.
Yeah, I think we got it in.
All right.
All right, guys. That's it for today. If you'd like to talk with us about this topic, you can find us both in Shelf Addiction Official on Facebook. Yes, or here on Patreon. So if you are not a Patreon subscriber, please join us over here. Yes, you can see our lovely faces and all that good stuff. So that's it for today, and take care. And until next time, happy reading. Bye, guys.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's book chat episode and would like to show your support, there are a few things you can do. Head on over to Apple Podcasts and leave a positive 5-star review. You can follow me on Twitter at Shelf Addiction. Most importantly, you can share this podcast with friends and family that enjoy all things bookish, including author interviews. Thank you for listening, and until next time, happy reading.